My followers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning, or depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. It's crunch time, Curaçao versus the undefeated Reggae Boys in a World Cup qualifier where 3 points are non-negotiable. The blue wave has galvanized the nation, selling out 10,000 seats for tomorrow night's encounter. Jamaica is 2 wins in two, and a third victory puts them on the runway to World Cup 2026. But the big question is, will Jamaica beat Jamaica? Let's get into it. Joining me on the live stream is the edit boss and the CEO of Nikado Media House. How are you, sir? How you doing?
Yeah, blessings, blessings. Thanks for being here again, man. Lovely to be back in the space and on your channel. Really lovely.
Thank you. You're a busy man. Yeah, it's hard to get a hold of you, but when we do manage to get a hold of you, I definitely appreciate
Yeah.
you blessing me one moment of your time because I know that you're a busy person. So thank you again for jumping on the live stream. How's your day been?
Good, good. Been putting in the work. I mean, I've been up in the for the last 13 hours. Yeah. Woke up at around 4:30, get ready for work, head out, came back home, and from my back home, it's all about the kids and YouTube.
Here we go, family man, workhorse, everything. Before we get started, I do want to take my hats off to you. The work that you've been putting in on your channel,
Yeah.
sensational. I call you the edit boss for a reason. That's like my name for you. Your edits are out of this world. It
Yeah.
looks like something that Sky Sports produced. So big ups to you
Really,
with your
really
work.
appreciate it. Really appreciate it, man. Much support. Much support. Well, always there for support one Talawa TV.
You're
No
welcome.
other TV.
How are you feeling about tomorrow night's match? I think we're this time tomorrow will be 1 hour away from kickoff. How are you feeling?
As a Jamaican, take my YouTube at off, and as a Jamaican, I feel blessed and feel proud that I'm on the verge of witnessing what my parents are witness. I was born, but never remember anything about that. But I'm so happy. I'm so delighted that the team is in a comfortable situation where everything is in their own hands at this moment. And if we can just go to this ground and get a positive points, we will remain intact of getting the birth of our second finals appearance in the World Cup. So I'm happy. I'm really, really happy and the situation where we at the moment, and not so much off the field. We don't want to dive into that at this moment. For this video, it's all about the positivity. So I'm happy about the situation. 2 wins, back-to-back clean sheet, going into Curacao. Not the most emphatic squad, but at least, yeah, we are right there.
I love what you said there, particularly pertaining to the history that's on the horizon. Of course, there's two ways of looking at it, isn't it? In terms of getting the job done in this window, in terms of poaching our ticket to next summer's World
Yeah.
Cup, beating Curacao is a must, and subsequently, we need our soccer warriors to do us a favor when they take on Curacao to make sure it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Hopefully, on the football
And
gods
we
is
can do them a favor as well, because if we beat Curacao twice, then they just have to do their job.
exactly. So they would be looking at the intercontinental playoffs, wouldn't they?
Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, soccer warriors, if you're listening, one hand can't clap. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Let's see if we can tag team like some wrestling pairing. I used to watch wrestling growing up. I don't anymore. But
Yeah.
hopefully we can do a little. Maybe I don't know the Dudley brothers and see if we can handle Kieran.
Not much. I don't know much about them. My favorite wrestler, I think, coming from the UK was Seamus Coleman, Irish.
Really?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Used to love his style.
For some
Great
reason, he used
character.
to grind my gears. I don't even know why, but it's just I wasn't really a fan. But anyways, let's focus on
Ball game time. Kids football.
cage. It's about to get a little bit cagey at some
Yeah,
point in the
yeah, yeah,
conversation. But the graphic on screen there, I brought it up
yeah.
intentionally. The 12th man, how you feel about their 12th man for tomorrow's game? I mean, we know about their stadium. As we said, it's a sold out capacity of 10,000, but what kind of bothers me to an extent, not to a great deal, is the closeness of their stadium. It's like their fans are sitting right on top of you, which you can kind of see, and the sideline is literally right on their doorstep.
Yeah. I was reading some stuff early this morning in early hours when I woke up around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. between that time. And they will have a few visitors from, the Netherlands coming over to watch this game because this game, it's like having the Reggae Boys in town. This game, they think if they can win this game, they will have more than a foot in the World Cup final. So they will throw everything in this game, and the fans, they will be right at it from minute 1 to minute 90. So that's why the UK based players will be very important in this game, because how the atmosphere can be, in the Premier League, the Championship, League One, very loud, ratchet in that way. So they used to something like this. But when you go away, on these grounds, it's all about to focus on what is your game plan, what is the team need to do to get the best result, how you can limit your ear from not getting anyone, running around in your position. So the player that you have to mark in a game, just win your battles. If each players can win their battle, then it will be a collective effort, and it will be a little bit more easier. But the fans, man, sold out venue, over 48 hours ago. So I'm expecting, the fans to be loud. I expect them to be very cheerful. It's going to be excited as well, because they want to see the Reggae Boys players. We will have a few Jamaicans in the stadium, which, it's not really a huge massive of Jamaicans, but it's a very decent population of people that come from Jamaica, is currently based in Curacao. So hopefully they can come out in a number as well, so the players can actually see a little bit of a black, green, and gold in the stadium. And, to try to eradicate the Papi Mento. We don't want to hear it, man. Let's beat the Kete and the Naya Bingi drum in the stadium.
Definitely well said. And do you know what? As I said, to an extent, I'm concerned about the 12th man, but perhaps not. I guess you never really know what Reggae Boys you're gonna get on the day, do you? And that's why there's always that element of being cautiously optimistic, because we've seen where I'm sure even with this World Cup qualifier cycle, where they've gone away to a ground where it looked as if it was sold out to capacity. It might have been, was it BVI where it looked like it was a
Yeah,
soul
BVI,
stadium?
the BVI game, the
Yeah.
BVI game and the Bermuda game, or we played both games away. I wasn't expect to see. Look, it's two territory of the UK, England as well. So is it BVI? Is it British Virgin Island or US Virgin Island?
It was British
Yeah,
Virgin.
so it was England to territory in the Caribbean, so I wasn't really expecting a lot like what I've signed a BVI from Bermuda, but I mean they gave it to us. They support the boys, you understand, and I love it. So that's what I'm expecting the Curacao, the Jamaicans that living in Curacao to come out and support the national team. I'm looking forward for that support. The boys need it. They need it. And look, this is why we are the king for the Caribbean. It no matter anywhere we turn up. I could have sent Vincent, I could have Dominica, send kids. The Jamaican fans I got turn up in them numbers.
I back you on that with how you ended, because as I said, despite I know the BVI scoreline still rubs people up the wrong way because we didn't punish them as we should have, but nevertheless we got the job done.
Yeah.
Another perfect example of where the Wolves were out in terms of that, let's say, hostility and the full backing of the 12th man was when we remember last summer when we played third round nation leagues against Canada, I believe, third place I should say,
The
bronze medal
nature,
for a Nations League,
yeah, something. I think, yeah.
right? I believe it was for the third place, and we played that decisive game there against Canada, and they had
You
all
said the
of
Nations League of the last Nations League.
no last year.
No, we got knocked out by the US in the Nations League quarterfinals. I
Just-
think it was 5-1 aggregate.
So where Shamar Nicholson,
That was 2023.
was it 2023? Was it last year?
Nah, that's 20.
Jesus, wow,
That's
time flies.
2023. Yeah, time flew fast.
Time
That's
flies.
2023.
That's the one that I'm thinking of. So that particular nation league right there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's a perfect example of where the Wolves are out again in terms of the 12th man. But we managed to get the job done, didn't we? So
yeah, yeah.
again, that's why I'm looking at tomorrow's match and saying despite the 60,000, not 60,000, the 10,000 capacity sold
Yeah.
out crowd, we should be able to go over there and still handle business because we've done it in worse
Yeah,
circumstances.
we did it, and this coach would have been through the worst in Central America of Nicaragua and Honduras. We have done it there. I think he have only lost one away game, and that was when we played the US in St. Louis in Missouri. So we got 4-2 in that game, the Demi Brace. But other than that, I think we just wiped the floor everywhere we go on the travels of under the tenure of Steve McLaren.
Yeah, that was. Did you go to the game from the
Yeah, I
start?
was. Yeah, I was. I'm a traveler when teams come to the US and Canada, so I usually go to the games, and even the Canada game. I flew to Jamaica. Flew out of
You're
Jamaica, went to
joking.
Toronto, and then I have to drive from Toronto, catch a flight in Cleveland, and then from Cleveland, I finally get home. So I always on the travel support the Reggae Boys.
I love that's one of my favorite games of recent years. Shaman Nicholson saying,
Yeah,
they're colder,
yeah.
but we're colder,
We
and
never knew until
poker.
when Shamar got that goal and Bobby, the last two goals, we realized how much Reggae Boys fans were in the stadium at the time.
Poker. Yeah, that was. I need
Yeah.
more of that from Shamar Nicholson, though. That's the Shamar Nicholson that we want to see. Grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and so on. So back to tomorrow's game. There's a couple strengths there. Obvious strength from the hosts. If we look back at their game against Bermuda, or not just about Bermuda, just the duration in which they have been performing throughout the World Cup qualifiers. I mean, even in this year's CONCACAF Gold Cup, I think for some they pulled up a shock 1-1 draw against Canada.
Hmm.
Um, again, this summer's Gold Cup just concluded, but throughout the World Cup qualifiers, we've seen them tuck away, Barbados 4-1. We've also seen them beat St. Lucia 4-0. Haiti, they tucked them in nicely, beating them 5-1. And against Bermuda, that game there was a narrow encounter, beating them 3-2, bit of a nail gripping
Yeah.
ending
Yeah.
towards that one. But one of the interesting aspects of those two games there was the way in which those matches started. They've developed a habit there of trying to get the business done at early doors. So I'm pretty much expecting more of the same in terms of how important of a first 45 will be for both sides. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Look, as a player that go in crucial games at times, the coach always tell you, when you go in to play away to a team that is very supportive, they're going to be a full house. It's always to try to take the sting out of the game. And it's always to try and make sure that your team get the most touches on the ball, get comfortable of having the ball and in a hostile environment. And it's all about get the opponent player, try to let them play out of their detailing work that you would have seen the formation and set up that the team that would have come out to play. But I'm not going to say this Reggae Boys team can do that as well, because we don't really have much leader in terms of people that going to conduct the team, demonstrate what needs to be done on the pitch, especially when you talk about the most important department in our football team, the midfielding area. We lack qualities there, and we don't have anyone that going to dictate the tempo and set the pace and all the game going to run until the end of it. So it's all about, I'm expecting to see a workman style performance. I'm expecting the team not to get outworked. I've said it. Dick Advocate had said, look, this Reggae Boy team, yeah, we physicality stronger. We more athletic, than them. We more faster than them. But he said the Curacao team, growing up through the Dutch school, they would have been more technical on the football. But time and time, I've heard coaches come and said the Reggae Boy team, the physicality, and we are more faster. But Talawa, we keep getting out running games. How is that possible? The opponent coaches always said nice positive things about our traits, but we're not setting the example on the pitch. We keep on getting outworked, outrun. Why is that? It has to come down from the leadership from the players in that department, and also the coach to demonstrate and set a standard of, look, we are more superior than every Caribbean countries in around in the World Cup qualifier, yeah. But we cannot get outrun, we cannot get outdone. It's just simply cannot happen. We have so many people across the diaspora who is working multiple jobs. The coronation market, the biggest market in the Caribbean. You have so many people that doing long shifts, hard working. So we are some set of hard working people. Remember seeing, Jamaicans going to college, working multiple jobs just to feed their family, send money back home. So we know what it is to work hard. The diaspora know what it is to work hard. The heritage players know what it is to work hard, because if it wasn't for the win rush, they wouldn't been there. So they know the background of what it is to work hard and get through whatever they need to get through in life. So we just cannot accept when the players are not running enough. It just cannot accept. It's not acceptable.
Well, I think you probably even answered your own question there for me, Nikata, because as much as we can say the manager, the backroom staff, at the end of the day, we're dealing with a group of professionals, and
Yeah.
these are professionals who have tasted individual accolades as individuals and as a collective for their respective clubs. Like, yes, granted, Gray's not part of the squad, unfortunately, picked up an untimely injury, but even he can say he's won arguably the biggest trophy to win at club level outside the Champions League, that be it the Premier League. And we've had other players just like our captain, Andre Blake. He's won trophies with Philadelphia Union. Just like you said on your live streams quite a few times, giving the captain his credit. He
Yeah.
recently won a trophy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Supporter Shield, I believe it's called.
Yeah. Support that
Um,
shit.
yeah, so there are some. I think you're right, and I think perhaps we should probably stick a pin in it and talk about the leadership, because I think you're bang on the money. But before it slips my memory, because it probably will, do you think one of the reasons why I kind of laughed to myself, because I think paraphrasing, you said that. Did you say that we're the kings or something along those
Yeah,
lines?
we are the kings of the Caribbean. Who
Yeah, I
who,
didn't
who
want to.
else have quality players that we can pick from the pool?
Do you know why I laughed to myself when you said that? Is because when I was actually doing my homework on these guys, one thing popped to my mind, Nikara, is like, I think, and this was literally because, as I said, I was having my lunch and listening to the video that you put together. Guys, if you've not seen that video from some hours ago, you're doing yourself a disservice. Listen, my brother spent a lot of time. That might be 10 to 15 minutes. That took him hours to put
Yeah.
together. So please respect his craft. And when this live stream finish, go and watch that video. It's not going to take up much of your time. It's well worth your wait. And it's going to teach you a lot about tomorrow night's encounter. Okay. It's bang on the money, worth every minute of your time. So when I was watching your video, I was thinking, you know what? It looks as if these guys are on the quest to become the Caribbean kings, because the last team to win the Caribbean Cup, Caribbean Trophy, it's coincidentally Curacao, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was their
Yeah.
first trophy as
Yeah.
well. But the information that you put into that video earlier on, some of the things that I was thinking of, the players, correct me if I'm wrong here, players, it almost as if they have a happy camp. And
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
saying
So happy.
what I gained was all hands is on deck, because they talk about the professionalism of playing for Curacao from then
Yeah.
to now. It's taken them less than 2 years for their fans and the nation to be galvanized and to buy into the product. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, they're going to want to polish this off by doing the unthinkable of qualifying for the World Cup. So, how important is environment and morale and leadership in taking yourself back to the promised land or qualifying for the first ever World Cup?
Yeah, the fans locally in Curacao, they waiting for this opportunity. This is why they're recruiting from Netherlands. They're recruiting heavily as well. They look. You have government locally in Curacao. I have government locally in Europe as well, in Netherlands, that galvanizing both nations together, getting a plan, getting details in work, and the players as well, how they can help this little small country don't even have over 200,000 people, and it's going to be, I think, to qualify, it might as well be one of the smallest nations to qualify, for a World Cup. I'm not sure what's the population for Trinidad and Tobago, but Curacao is just a small little nigger eye, in the Caribbean waters. But it will be a moral boost, for the nations. It will also, to help to help the youngsters that's coming up as well in that country to say, look, if these guys can do it, I mean, why not? Why I can't do it? Why they can't take the journey, from Curacao, go across in Europe and actually to further, their education as well, not just the bookwork, but also on the pitch, and to come back and help their beloved Curacao. So that's the model. That's what they've been working on. And I've done some research, and there's so many players like leaving Curacao, for football and scholarship to go to Europe in Netherlands. It's just second to done that to see that the government local in Curacao and the government also in Netherlands both working together to help this team to galvanize and to get to a World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely agree with you there. Guys, in the comment section, we're not ignoring you. I will give you guys your individual shout out before I close off on the show, but it goes without saying. Of course, make sure you subscribe to Nicardo's channel. I've put it's the pinned post. So make sure you click on that and subscribe to his channel. Also subscribe to Jason Guna TV. You already know the landlord, but in case you're under a rock, make sure you
Big up
subscribe.
the landlord. Big up the
Legal
landlord.
TV. The landlord's in. He's waiting on his rent, Ricardo. I've paid mine.
Mm.
Have you paid your rent?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Secretly, I did. Secretly, I did.
I like what you said there. With regards to leadership, because
Yeah,
of course, you've been following Jamaican football probably before you even came into this world,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't know about you, but I feel like off late, maybe social media has played a role in that. But off late, it almost feels as if every World Cup cycle we're hearing about some form of internal issue pertaining to alleged player bust ups, right? And yet again, this World Cup cycle, we're kind of hearing more of the same, not to a great extent, but we're
yeah,
hearing little things allegedly took place in training again with regards to some bust ups there. So going back to what you said pertaining to leadership, I think I
yeah,
might have to side with you on that. I think we do lack leadership. And before we get into the conversation about leadership, I want us to sit back and listen to our gaffer. And this was the press conference there from last international window, so the September international window, when he was giving his reason pertaining to why he called up Big Mick. Right? So let's go ahead and listen to that one.
um, is maybe a surprise is Michael Antonio on there, and Michael
Right, guys, I'm going to mute my microphone. If you can't hear it, let me know in the comment section. All right.
is on there. Is in the squad. Why? Because from day one, I can say he has been the most committed player to Jamaica and the cause, the most committed, the most vocal, um, and he wants to see Jamaica in World Cup 26. That's what he told me on day. The injury, horrific injury which he got, he hasn't stopped believing that he can help us. Talks to me regular about Jamaica, about the World Cup, and what he can do to help. And, that's right. He's in the squad because I want him to help us for three reasons. The future, because he wants to play again. It's unbelievable what he's been through, and he still wants to play football, and he wants to play football at a high level, and he's working hard to do that. We've watched his progress, obviously, in the summer. We brought him into the Gold Cup squad. I've watched him since. He's training with West Ham. I've watched him play two games for the under 21s. He's building his fitness up. He hopes to get a club by next week. And to build his fitness, I think he can come and join us and train with us and build his fitness. He will provide competition for the other strikers, competition for the players. There is no better warrior on the field than Mikel. So, in the second reason he's here is because of that. I want him on the training field. I want him driving training, which he does, and he wants to be the best, and he wants to prove that he can be the best. So he still thinks he's better than everybody else, and he wants to come here and prove that. And the key thing is, he's such an influence in the dressing room and around the place with his leadership, his example is a big influence, and therefore no hesitation in bringing him in to the squad to help us and yeah, to prove himself. So that sums up the squad, the games that we've got ahead. I look forward to it, and obviously any questions.
So listening to the gaffer speaking and Mikel Antonio, I understand the leadership, understand, you commit, you want to help his country, to get over the line, you want to play in the World Cup, but he's not doing himself any justice. And the coach just sell himself a unicorn meat. Big up to the landlord, favorite word. You understand? Said that the player hope that he can get a contract, a club by next week. Which month we now? October going into November soon. By next week, we're in the middle of October. And Mikel cannot find himself a contract yet. Just going around training ground to training ground. What is it? Him not do himself any justice of knowing that he's not with a club. He's getting pick over players that who deserve at the time to be in the squad more than a Mikel Antonio. If he's such an influential player in the dressing room, had him on the coaching staff. You understand? No disrespect. I love Mikel. If Mikel find a club by tomorrow, he should be in November window. But if Mikel Antonio got to get the best out of himself, it's not at this moment because he's nowhere near match sharp anything. When you look at the games that he came on in the Gold Cup, he was just way off it. He wasn't up to the standard. He was just running around like a headless chicken. And people might say, yeah, the passion is out there, he's willing to run and willing to do the extra yards. But that little cut off above of the rest is sure that it's not there. The extra quality that we needed on the pitch, it wasn't there. And I've seen Mikel got games over Roman Burrell in the Gold Cup, which when Burrell came in, he showed the youthfulness of him. He showed the quality of him, of a young Mikel Antonio, probably would have what he have done, during his early days of West Ham. Just running around, run the channels, non-stop, getting your one-on-one opportunities. But the coach managed to put Antonio on the pitch over Burrell during the Gold Cup. I just can't find that. And I'm thinking over the last couple of days, close to a week, if Mikel wasn't injured, he would have get picked. That definitely be in the team. You understand? And it seems like, yeah, I like the coach to have, close-knit personality relationship with each other and players. But when it comes on to business, it's just business. And, Mikel is not up to the par, to do business with. So, you have to just find himself, at home in London, wherever, you want to be, and go find himself a club. And for a man like his stature that you can't even get a championship club, bro. Like, if you so commit to the program, drop your standard and get a club. If you so commit and want to help your country, drop your standard for the country and go get a club in the championship. There must be a contract in the championship waiting for Mikel Antonio, but he just don't want to. He want to prove himself that he's a Premier League player. Go in the championship and go prove it for 6 months and then come back.
Yeah, it's such a weird situation to be in, but I'm thinking again, because like I said, it's not the first World Cup cycle again in a social media day and age where we're hearing about these alleged training ground bus ups. And the reason why I decided to play that press conference there, it does, I think it begs the question of asking what is really going on with our Reggae Boyz team as it relates to leaders. Because the fact that the gaffer there feels like he has to turn to a player that is clubless.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is. A clubless player and put them in the column, not on the sidelines, which I think is where he deserves to be again, because as you said there, it's about merit. Players should be called up based on merit. But what do you think it says about the leadership or lack thereof in our Reggae Boys team? The fact that the gaffer has to turn to a clubless player, because those are some of the key points there pertaining to why Mikel Antonio received a call up, was to do with leadership and influence, right? Do you think that he's looking at a Mikel, and I'm not justifying his the call ups, by the way, because I don't agree with it. I'm on your side. I think he should be on the sidelines. But do you think that he sees Mikel Antonio as being his voice? Like, do you think that our culture is too overpowering for him? Because let's backtrack a bit and look at that game there again against Canada, where Boza basically said from the horse's mouth, he went inside that changing room and he gave them the Sir Alex Ferguson blow dryer treatment. And
Yeah.
even Grimmy was saying, Boza, like, take it easy. He was intimidated by him. And that's just Boza being, let's say, aggressive for a good reason. Now imagine when you're aggressive, when you're trying to let off steam and players are dropping the B bomb and players are telling other players, I'm not saying they did, but let's just say that they're saying SYM, and these are probably a couple of words there that McLaren's never heard of before, and he's probably a little bit floored and taken aback by our flamboyant, so powerful culture. So, do you think he's looking at a Mikel as almost like a shield and an armor to say, "Yeah, you go calm them down, cause I can't."
Yeah, Mikel is just, one of his foot soldier, that someone that regardless of the situation, he's going to believe in Mikel. You understand? He's going to believe in him. And all coaches have a player like this in their squad. You know what I mean? Because back then, it was Frank Lampard and Mason Mount and stuff like that. So there's always going to have a player coach relationship like this, but there must be a stop to everything. You
Yeah,
understand? There must be a stop to everything. And I said it, the coach himself, there's not enough standard is setting around the place. You could see that this is a man that he's not leading the project. The project is leading by someone else. He's just the face of the project, just being there, that someone that is the gaffer. But he's not the one that, calling some big shots. But the standard need to set by the coach and his staffs. If them, the coaching staffs, not setting the standard, why you think the players will go ahead and follow suit? I remember watching Napoli playing, I think it was AC Milan in the San Siro, and Antonio Conte took Kevin De Bruyne off, and he was flaring up. He was having this sad face. He was hungry, and Antonio Conte say, "Hey, I hope that you're sad because of the result at the time. Don't be sad because I took you off. Else you're going to feel the beer pressure." That's the standard around the club that Antonio Conte would have said. It's the same with Mason Greenwood and Roberto De Zerbi. He's trying to uplift a Mason Greenwood. He's trying to set a standard around Marseille that no player is bigger than the club, no coach is bigger than the club. It's all about get the result for the club and the fans. So if the gaffer can't do same as those coaches, how you think the player is going to react? How you think people going to look at the project that I'm supposed to come in and do a 18-month smash and grab job? As much as it is an 18-month job, but it's a project. It's an 18-month project.
Yeah, it really is. But I am assuming, before we move on with this talk about leadership, I am assuming that perhaps that's the reason why, hey, he's leaning on Mikel, and maybe that is the reason, because obviously we're in a World Cup qualifying campaign and they don't want to let too much out. But that could be one of the, not the necessarily overarching reason, but that could be one of the reason there why they had to get the Speedmeister himself to be in camp, and also apparently he's now traveling with the team. So maybe he's there to actually say, hey, look, no foolishness, make
Yeah,
sure every man, I's are dotted, T's are crossed type of thing.
yeah. I mean, if you look at certain national team, when players
Yeah.
when players travel and go to different countries to different club teams, just by playing in certain league, you already put your availability in danger to get called up for that team, for that national country, because they just know that look, the quality is there. They're just not going to pick you from there.
Yeah.
So we need follow ups from the gaffer. We need follow up from the people that are around him. So if they can't follow suit, then it's just going to be chaos. If the results is not good on the pitch, then it's going to be hard, to keep the criticism away from the national team. You understand? That's where I leave it. Enough
That's true.
standard is not around in a building.
Yeah.
Enough standard is not around a building.
Yeah, and I think as much as I don't like it, I think it's too late to even set those standards. I think you have to wait for a next World Cup qualifying
Yeah,
campaign. Yeah,
definitely,
it's too late
definitely,
to set those standards now. It's too
definitely.
imbalanced. There's clear politics, clear favoritism. So we just have to look forward to the next World Cup cycle. Maybe by then, a couple players won't be playing for Jamaica, and it's a clean slate, new way of doing things, and so on. Big ups to Next Up Sports Talk. Make sure
Yeah,
you
big up, big up, big up, big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody.
make sure you subscribe to his channel, and also make sure you subscribe to Ball Pre TV as well. All right. So we're moving on, and I think this probably segue me to the next question. As much as I'm sweating buckets, I'm still feeling like we will get the job done. But my big worry, Nakada, is Jamaica being our own enemy. I'm just wondering again, touching on a couple of the things there that we ended on pertaining to,
Yeah.
politics, allegations and so on. Do you think that Jamaica will beat themselves in the long run?
Yeah, I know, because in regard of the players that we have, we can dig ourselves out of any hole at any given time. But when the hierarchies and the players are not on the same page, then we can defeat ourselves. That's how I look at it. You understand? That's how I really look at it. And I can't believe that 2022 campaign to go to Qatar, we made some huge mistakes, and we following up on similar mistakes as well with the hierarchy and the it seems that the gap between the hierarchy and the players, it bridge a little bit, but it's not close to where it's a tight knit where the players can actually say, hey, they can go to the hierarchy and tell them anything personally, private message, and it just keep indoor without go to public. So the trust is there, but to somewhat of kind of trust they have between hierarchies, only God knows, but the full trust is not there as yet. So if the players are superior to the other teams in this region, in this qualification rounds at this moment, we can go two down versus
Hmm.
Curacao and win the game in second half because our players are more superior. We might not be, to the level of the US and Mexico, but when it comes down to the Caribbean, there's no team should really beat us if we're on top of our game.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if things are not well with the players and the hierarchy, then we can shoot our own self in the foot. That's how we're going to defeat ourselves.
yeah, it's exactly. I definitely agree with you with regards to potentially defeating ourselves, and even our opponents for tomorrow's game. By the way, big up yourself, Chemo Hunter. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as it is written on his picture right there in front of you guys. I hope you are well. As I said, guys, before I close up, I will go through my chat and give you guys a big ups, okay? But I just don't want to keep on having to stop and turn my attention elsewhere because I do end up losing focus.
Mhm.
So back over to Curacao. They themselves are not pitch perfect.
Yeah.
Even though they have a good habit in terms of how they approach games and scoring in the early first 45 and so on. At the end of the day, they are guilty of a couple lapses of complacency there in the manner in which Bermuda pegged them back and almost defeated them. I'll say that they're not pitch perfect. They also have their poster boy missing for tomorrow's game. Not to say that they're a one-man band, but as I said to you earlier on when we were chatting, I'm glad that he's not going to be playing in tomorrow's game. Obviously, he's on the sideline, and I do wish him a speedy recovery. But Speaking of shooting themselves in the foot, Curacao almost did that against Bermuda. And that was after having somewhat of a potent start. And, despite what will be a sold out crowd tomorrow, there is that question there against Bermuda. One of the main questions that I ask myself is, can they play under pressure and for how much longer? For how long can they play under pressure for what do you think about that? Because tomorrow's match is a must win for all of us. As I said at the start of the live stream, we're almost got
It's
we're
more it's more of a must win for the home nation than the
yeah, yeah,
Reggae Boys.
yeah.
The Reggae
Me
Boys will be happy to get a point.
you think so?
Yeah, if the game to if say hypothetically speaking, if the game should draw, the Reggae Boys will more be happy than a Curacao team because
Okay,
the
okay.
game draw we will still on top, but they still have to come to our home court. Why
Yeah,
they lost out 2 points on their home court.
yeah, I think they need to be going out there and getting that win because tomorrow could potentially seal the top spot for us. Obviously, like I said, Trinidad and Tobago still need to do us a little bit of a favor. But massive game there tomorrow, and despite the backing of their 12th man there against Bermuda, they were not pitch perfect. Their defense had fell asleep more than one occasion, and subsequently both of those occasions there led to goals. And I don't know if it's complacency with Curacao, but when you rewatch that match and you're looking at the closing stages of the first 45, you're thinking, what the hell is going on here? Too many bodies forward, not enough players sitting back. And at that moment of the game, surely they should have been trying to keep a tight back line to say, let's manage this game. Let's go into the ending of the first 45 with a leg up on these guys. But they weren't doing any of those things, and potentially they will make some tweaks for tomorrow's game. But definitely there's some defensive fragility there. Is that the wrong way of looking at it, or do you agree?
No, I don't want to pay too much attention to the Bermuda game. I've seen more of a team that unbalanced team played the Trinidad and Tobago. That second half that they played in Trinidad and
Mm,
Tobago, I think Steve McLaren can zone in on that game a lot more than the Bermuda game. Yes, Bermuda would have their moments and they took the opportunities, but I feel like that second half in Trinidad, they really pegged back the Curacao team, especially when you look at a Curacao team that likes to play with shit at the back and then at times, push that extra man in midfield from the defensive line. So what I saw like Dwight Yard did, in that second half, he had like Kevin Molina drop a little bit more deeper to add extra body and having Levi is running from more on the channel through the channels on both the either wing as well, and you will have the players like Spicer playing on the touchline. So you actually spread out the Curacao team and the double pivot in that midfield. They just get exposed. They just start to run over in that midfield department. So there's ways that you can break down this Curacao team, especially look at the Reggae Boys, Ronald Asifas. He actually going to get room. In if they're going to play a back three, I mean, this can play into Ronald Asifas hands because they're going to go guns out because they, as I said, they want the win. They don't want to draw. They want the win. So their wing backs will be all up in our face. But how we can play that counter, the transition game of getting the likes of Aaron Asifas, getting exposed to that back three with someone else, up in that final third, helping them out as well. And hope and pray that Ronald Asifas will support that player by passing the football or just make the right decisions. So there's ways that this Curacao team can get breakdown, and I think I found out a lot just by rewatch and watching that game live, the Trinidad game, that they got cooked in that second half just by a little bit of tweak, from Dwight York with that 4-4-2. He was trying to play more Kevin Molina closer to Levi Garcia, but he was, because they're such a technical player. If you leave them 1v1 and more space, they can hurt you. You understand? But you have to double down on them. You have to limit their space and their touches on that ball. And playing on AstroTurf in a close knit environment, I think with our athleticism, we should be getting to cover more grounds. more faster than them. You understand? So there are ways, and very good team, to be honest. It's a very good team, but I think the likes of Tiati Chong and I think the other guy, Richard Bezor, not going to be around, that will be massive, massive for the Reggae Boys not to have these two guys, coming up against them, because look, these guys are quality players, in this region.
Yeah, as I said, when I found out Poster Boy Chong was not going to be playing, I was
Yeah.
definitely delighted. I mean, hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Same goes for Demari Gray and so on. But before we close off on the show, I just want maybe just 5 more minutes of your time, if
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about the engine of the team. Look, my engine room is the midfield. Not everyone
Yeah.
agrees with me, but I feel like the heart of the team always belongs to the midfield. That's your engine. That's what keeps you. That's what ticks. That's your heartbeats. What's going on with midfield? How are we looking for midfield? What would be your pairing for tomorrow?
When the squad released for the first time, and I was looking at it, all right, I was saying like, Casey and Isaac will not be there. I was like, okay, I was okay with it. But when I heard the coach talk about, to adding players that missing, like the Demari Gray situation where he left it with three wingers and you have to actually make an addition of bringing, Doja and Whisper Richards. And I was like, okay, you missing a winger because of injury, but you missing two players in the midfield because of suspension. But that's our weakest point, and we still not even have one cover coming in that department. I was like, it's like McLaren is setting up himself right here. Like, why not add another quality? Because the Joshua Anglin, the Kara Anderson, the Ian Frey, the Bobby Reed, these players can close them eye and beat up, should close their eye and beat a Bermuda team inside of the office, right? So we don't need such a prolific squad to get 3 points against Bermuda inside of the office. But would have known that going away against the Soca Warriors would have been tough. But coming up against players that playing in an Eredivisie, especially at home, close knit environment, environment that they used to. You understand? It's going to be even tougher to play this Curacao team. So you'd have actually give yourself more options available off the bench or to get the start, and to see that we have at least a 4.5, because Ian Frey, we don't know what we're going to get. We're just talking off of basic logics of what we saw in playing for Inter Miami. We know what his qualities are, we know what his strength, we know what is his weakness. But playing inside the engine room, close pitch, limited space, how much he's going to be equipped to play in that role? That's not an easy role. When you're back turned to the goal, players are 1-2 players are rushing at you. What if he start and Dick Advocate say, hey, this is his debut. He might be a little bit frightened. He might be a little bit nervous. Don't give him any chance. 1-2 players rushing at Ian Fred. How he's going to react to that? How he's going to get himself out of that role? Remember, this is not a normal role for him where he played 90 minutes consistently for Inter Miami. This is not his role. We are just asking him to come in and be that makeshift number 6. Is that from the bench or from the start? We don't know what the quality is going to bring. We can talk all over, and we just have to just hope that Ian Frey having best game of his life if he's going to start from the get-go. So McLaren didn't do himself any favor, for this midfield department, and I'm a little bit worried if the Curaçao team actually start to get it right, start to get it tick over in that midfield. Because if they go with the 3-4-3, normally sometimes they have at least that one player from the attacking third will drop in the midfield and give that extra body. Because we saw what happened in the Trinidad game where Rampasard and Frederick just outmuscle us with the ball in that midfield. Those two players were just only double pivot for Trinidad, and we couldn't outnumber them. So I'm a little bit worried with more quality players in that Curacao team that likes the football on their foot, with an experienced coach that know how to find the weakness, from their opponent. Just look at the game in the first 10, 15 minutes and say, hey, plan B, let's attack that player. The weakness in that midfield, that's player. Don't let him have two touches on the ball. Attack him. How are you going to react? How McLaren going to react? And McLaren haven't been so good, proactive, always more of a reaction coach. But I have to give it to him that he got good results on the road, away to Nicaragua, away to Honduras. You understand? Not so good against a superior US team in Missouri. So it's all down to the coaches, the players, everybody going to have to play their part. But more so, whatever details the player get from their coaches, they're going to have to execute that on the pitch. And who make the less mistake in the game, I mean, that's where the game's going to swing.
It's interesting overview there. In terms of the situation here that we're at, and because obviously we're one of the main things that we've had is that midfield imbalance.
Yeah.
And based on the way you've summarized it there, I think you've said that we're even more imbalanced, unless I've misunderstood you. But do you think it was avoidable, Nakada, in terms of the number of the accumulation of yellow cards that we've managed to unfortunately secure
Think of
under our
what?
accumulation of yellow cards?
What
Do you
what
think,
about yellow? You think we could have avoided that a little bit?
yeah, do you think it was avoidable?
No, World Cup qualifiers, you want to have your best players on the pitch. Trinidad, they were right in the game. We have to remember that,
You
three
know
goals.
why I'm asking? Sorry to interject. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
thinking, obviously, I know the players aren't stupid,
yeah.
right? And I'm not saying that they are, but perhaps, and I probably need to go do my homework. Maybe you could guide me on this one. Perhaps it's a case of CONCACAF rules are somewhat different with regard to the accumulation of yellow cards,
Yeah.
right? Again, I'm not saying the players are dumb, but and I mean this out of just curiosity. Do you think the players were aware of the yellow card ruling pertaining, or do you think they should have been? I'm not saying they weren't, but
Yeah.
perhaps should have been reminded like, hey, look, remember, CONCACAF rules are different. The yellow card that you pick up in the first round or the second round spills over to the final round of the qualifiers. Hey, remember you're on a yellow card. Don't get yourselves on a second yellow card. That means you can't play the next match to come. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Do you think it
yeah,
was avoided?
I
We
think
don't need to jingle bell,
maybe the case of Palmer yellow card could have avoidable in that game.
Bruh, I looked at it and I'm thinking, look at the
Yeah,
timing of
maybe
this
the case of
yellow card. I'm
Palmer
like,
yellow
are you
card.
kidding me?
Maybe. But the Isaac Hayden one, you have to keep him out there. He's the best player in the midfield. He's what makes everything ticks.
Aiden's yellow card was out of stupidity as well, though. Because I think, why
Yeah,
would
as well.
you do that,
Yeah, I remember
Isaac?
that. Yeah, I remember that yellow card as well.
So again, that's what I'm thinking. Obviously, I'm just guessing. But I'm thinking, do they need to be reminded that, hey, look, you're on a yellow. Don't do nothing
Yeah.
stupid.
And I think that can be the coaching job, but as well, and also Simon Preston, someone that who is very big on statistic. Look, you always heard him inform the coach on statistics and the numbers
Yeah,
as well. When you hear the coach say Bowser is the best striker that can play against Caribbean team available to pick, who you think give him that information?
Simon.
It has to
You
be
know what?
Simon.
He thinks he's so clever. He forgot Bose's stat.
It has to be Simon. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not sure. They maybe did. I think for a man himself like Simon, I think he probably would have reminded the coach, hey, look, this player, I remind him of the rules and laws because this
Yeah.
coach in the up to standard with anything. You understand? So I feel like Simon would have remind him to probably tell the players like, listen, you want a yellow card, you can't get no more yellow card unless you're going to miss the next game. I think
Yeah.
they did, but stupidity at times, but the heated moment in a game, sometimes you even forget
Forgets little things, yeah, and just, oh
about these
no, I
little
should
things. You
have done
understand?
that.
And then as soon as you hear that whistle for that fall, you're like, oh no, please no. You realize like, shit, if I yellow card, then I'm going to miss the next game.
Yeah, I mean, you're bang on the money there with Mr. Preston, but I agree with you. but they need to pay that man his worth because he's doing way more than what a press officer should be
Yeah,
doing.
I mean,
Literally not the job of a press officer. Say, if he's
yeah,
the one that's giving you your stats, you better top up that man's
yeah.
salary,
I
okay?
think,
Because he's
I
doing way
think.
more than he needs to.
Him having flaws, but me not really want go around this. So I want more to give him credit of being that soldier of always, studying the policies, studying the statistic.
Hundred
You
percent.
have, you have to give him that as well. You understand? But I think sometimes on how we see Simon work, it can be the struggle of working with incompetent bosses around. You understand?
Interesting.
Because if you're not seeing the leaders aren't doing it the way they're supposed to do it in the room.
You kind of
It,
take it upon yourself.
yeah, it's going to be sometimes going to be difficult, to be a straightforward man of look. It doesn't matter if they are not doing their job. I'm going to do my job. Something ain't going to slack. Something ain't going to slack. It happened. We are
Yeah,
human being. We have feelings. You understand?
slackers.
We want to have our own ways at time.
Oh, that's true. That's definitely true. You're bang on the money with that. I don't disagree. So if they somehow aren't aware, I don't know if they're having their dinner or whatever, but yeah, Dixon,
Yeah,
watch your step.
yeah,
Lambakisa, watch your step. Everybody just watch their steps, all right? Because we don't want to
yeah,
hear no more yellow card suspension. And we damn sure don't want a red card
yeah,
suspension.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what's your prediction for tomorrow's game before you close
One
off?
one. I want the Reggae Boys to win, but I feel like that just 1-1. If I'm going to bet, which I'm going to bet on the game, I'm going to bet a 1-1 score.
So what you
I'm going.
So what you're telling me is that we're sleeping in dirty sheets tomorrow. We're not sleeping in clean sheets. Is that what you're telling me, Mr. Nakado?
Midwell. Midwell. More on the team for winning up, but I'm just looking at it like two teams really want this win. It's important for the Reggae Boys to win because he would have loved to wrap up, business, in October and just cruise and just, give, some minutes to other players and to give them that look in,
Mm.
but it's just that home advantage is going to play against us. It's going to play against us. You understand? And it's not going to be an easy game.
Yeah, look. Well, Blakey, over to you. No pressure, my friend. It's just that the lad before you kept 2 clean sheets, and
Mhm.
according to my special guest here, we're sleeping in dirty sheets tomorrow. I don't
Midwell.
want to. Over to you, Mr. Blakey, Captain Fantastic. Nakada is going with a 1-all score
One last
line.
score. Yeah.
He has to
Bailey
number.
Kadamatiri.
Oh, you're going for a cheeky Bailey. What's first
Yeah.
off? Who's scoring first?
No, I will say, yeah, we will score first. I think we will score first. We will score on a run up play. I think he was. I said it this already on ball pre that Bailey Kadamatiri will score from his second shot. I think that's what I said. Yeah.
Okay, interesting that one. Well, I don't want to take up much of your time because I know you
Yeah,
said
I have to run to get some stuff done and then have to come back in an hour from now to catch that. I think the 80 will play away to Nicaragua. Now I'm supporting the Asians as well. Huge game coming up. At 8 p.m. my time, Eastern time. Catch that 8
your
80
time.
game. Yeah.
I want to see
Someone
how.
said 3-1. Whisper Dixon Bailey.
Like that.
No, I mean Marlon King. I mean Nick, you make it seems we're not winning. I'm just saying, like, just speaking the raw truth, I just think it's going to be a 1-1 job. But I would love my country to come away with a victory. It doesn't matter if they're going to get it dirty. It doesn't matter if it's going to be a pretty win. I want them to come away with that full maximum 3 points. But straight up, may I bet pan 1-1, And people, if you don't live local in Jamaica, find just bet. Find just bet 1-1 draw. If the game a draw 1-1, want to come find up on anyone I live stream them and critique bad betting decisions.
They need to be turning you upside down and shaking out the money out your pockets if you let them if you let them miss out on money. We're telling them not going to be.
Probably them have to go buy some ticket for some individuals who go bet their money and just bet and lose 1
You're gonna have to do more than that, sir. But you know what? I don't want to take
Yeah,
up much more of your time. I'm gonna
yeah,
close up on the show in a few, but I'm gonna allow you to go. Again, thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time.
yeah.
It's your chance to
Always.
plug yourself. Let everyone know where they can
Yeah, I
find you.
mean, blessings to everyone, blessings to the chat, Marlon King, big up to I think Dean Fraser beat my bad with the Mikel Antonio, Jason Gouda, bless up yourself, the guru, one Guna TV. But everybody, Francis, open our watch, Tafari, as you see, David James, Beer Back, Wappy King, bless up on yourself, people, you don't know, and the kind of medias there, salute everybody. Remember, when you go find the next live stream, wherever it is, and go support the next YouTuber. People, I'm out, plug that in. 1 jar tomorrow, just bet
You
tomorrow.
didn't do the most important thing, bro. What time's your video dropping tomorrow?
Um, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. That no. Reach out. 7 a.m. JA time tomorrow.
Apparently, you've got a special guest. I'm looking forward to seeing who that is.
Yeah, people. Big up on yourself, continue to support Talawa TV. We have to always give, Talawa TV crystal strength. As always, woman power. You understand? We have to always make sure we take care of the females, them. That's all we grew up in the Caribbean. Make sure that females come first. You understand? So Ball Pre TV, where the live there, brother. Nobody make the live start 12 a.m., 1 a.m. tonight, and the people can't bother with that, brother. You
It's
understand?
That's
Make the
true.
post game tomorrow, 12 o'clock in the night, Ball Pre TV. Start up the engine. In probably the on the way, stuck in a traffic right now in a corporate area. Hey,
And
King
you're
is a
doing
busy
him.
man. Yeah, King is a busy man. Big up yourself, Ball Pre. Big up on yourself, chat. Everybody, up. I'm out.
All right, bro. Take care. So, guys, I'm gonna close off on my live stream in a bit. Let me have a sip of water. I guess what I could do is I need to go through the chat, don't I? I can't close off on the chat like that. I gotta go through the chat. You guys have blessed me with a moment of your time. I gotta make sure I treat you guys good. But here's what I think we should go ahead and look at the teams that's qualified so far. Lucky buggers. Hopefully it will be us in a while, in a few. Can you imagine if Trinidad and Tobago can somehow do us a lot of favor? Of course, we need to do our job tomorrow night, but let's stick a pin in it and let's go ahead and look at the teams that have already qualified for next summer's World Cup. Congratulations to each of them. Let's do some segue and go over and look at the qualified teams. Look at this one running down the wings. We're looking for Ryan. So let's go ahead and look at. We already know this one, don't we? I don't really need to go over the obvious. If you're new to football, though, so that we are on the same page, 3 co-hosts for next summer's FIFA Men's World Cup. That is the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, and the 3 co-hosts there: Canada, Mexico, and USA. Joining them so far, we've got Japan, New Zealand, IR Iran, Argentina, Uzbekistan. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, you can. Jordan, Australia, Ecuador, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Colombia, Morocco, Tunisia, and Egypt. I'm pretty sure I saw Algeria as well. Chat, correct me. So this hasn't been updated. The FIFA site hasn't been updated. Didn't Ghana qualify, or is that fake news? I'm pretty sure I saw something on social media yesterday that Ghana qualified. Is that fake news? Do let me know in the comment section. There's a lot of great content being produced by the entire Jamaica football YouTube community. So make sure you guys support the guys, and I'm sure you're spoiled for choices. I know I'm definitely spoiled for choices. As I said, Nakado, he's putting out some fantastic content, very digestible, short, about 10 minutes long. You already know that the landlord Elite Sports TV is probably going to go live tonight. Maybe in the next hour. That's just me saying that, by the way. I don't know, but I think he's probably gonna go live in the next hour. I'm just trying to see where I can point you. What direction can I point you guys in? I don't see Jason isn't scheduled for a stream, but he might do one. Maybe Ball Pre might do one. I'm trying to think who's gonna do. Oh, DNA football. I can't see nothing there. None of the guys have a stream. Um, trying to see where I can I want to segue you guys over to someone's stream, but no one is see. No one's got a stream scheduled here, guys. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? There's no one here with a stream schedule. I'm gonna look at that again before I close off. Maybe something might pop up in the next couple of minutes. As I said, look out for the usual suspects. Jason Guna TV, Elite Sports TV. Tell you what you guys can do though. You can click onto this name right here, Next Up Sports Talk, and go on watch his stream from today, right? So it's still fresh. I think it's maybe just an hour, probably just over an hour ago. He finished that live stream, so you guys can go ahead and jump onto his channel and digest his content. Um, See what you guys are saying there in the comment section before I close off. Martin Baker, big up yourself. Paul Watkins, big up yourself. Rockfort, big up yourself. Tafari, big up yourself. Jason Guna TV, big up yourself. Father Bling, big up yourself. Mario Logan, big up yourself. David J. Almost remixed your name there. Big up yourself. Damar, big up yourself. Markland Barrett, big up yourself. Sandra Blake. It's a unique way of spelling Sandra. Did I pronounce your name right? Sandre? Oh my God, I mispronounced your name. Wow. I am so sorry. Sandra Blake. I thought I said Sandra Blake, but spelled uniquely. I am so sorry. All right. I butchered that one. Anyways, big up yourself, despite the team that you support. And Ramsey, big ups to you. Brown Man Security Sound, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Lenworth Winter, big up yourself. Uptown 1G, big up yourself. Dean Fraser, big up yourself. DV Group, big ups to you. And as I said, Next Up Sports Talk, make sure you guys go ahead and tune into their live stream. Demar, big ups to you. Patrick O'Reilly, big ups to you. Ball Pre TV, big up yourself. Dean Fraser, I might have said your name already. Nevertheless, big up yourself. Chemo Hunter, big up yourself. Make sure you subscribe to Chemo Hunter. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club across all channels over on social media. YouTube, start off with YouTube, good place to start. Rusty Clouds, big ups to you. Loki Supreme, very supreme, big ups to you. Energy 876, big up yourself. Tycoon, big ups to you. Fitzroy Mackenzie, big ups to you. Boss Thomas, big ups to you as well. Andrew 55, big up yourself. See, I don't want to miss out on anyone, so let's just keep it going. Sham 6, big ups to you. Mario Logan, big up yourself. Bareback, I haven't seen you in a minute. Where you been? Big up yourself. Marlon King, big up yourself. And it looks as if, okay, Newton thing, big ups to you. Let's see what you guys are saying. DNA football. Have you changed your branding? Your branding looks different. Or is it a new channel? Do you have a new channel? Big ups to DNA Football. I'm pretty sure you guys know about DNA Football. Big ups to you, DNA Football. So DNA Football said he did a live, so you can check that one out as well. I didn't see that live today. My apologies. My apologies. Newton thing. Big up yourself. Of course, I was going down the list. Big up yourself, Newton King. O'Neill Dawkins. Big ups to you. I hope you're in good health. Patrick Holness. Patrick, where have you been? I'm sorry if you've been here and I haven't seen you. I do apologize. DNA Football. Well, it's a new channel. All right, I'll keep my eyes peeled for that one. I'm gonna give it a follow in a bit. Has anyone seen Dre Anyweather lately? Not on YouTube. That's a very good question. But Dre Anyweather Sports, big ups to you. I hope you're in good health. I hope all is well. And Peter Mystic. Peter, I am so sorry I butchered your name. How dare me? I should have known better. Big ups to you, Peter. See, you know where I was going with that one, right? How can I butcher your name? Peter Mystic, big up yourself. He says, always shout out, you're silent. We don't. That is true. Forgive me. Forgive me. Bad manners. shout out to my silent viewers and watchers. Big ups to each and every one of you, whether you're silently watching or in the comment section. I do hope that you're all in great health. I think I've chatted long enough. I'm hoping that we keep a clean sheet tomorrow. Andre Blake, no pressure. But they do say that your goalkeeper, or I should say your defense, so your goalkeeper is as good as your defense. I think that's the way that they spin that one. So no pressure to the goalkeeper and his line of defense. A clean sheet would be great, but the most important request from all of us surely should be the all-important 3 points. I always say go for the 3 points, go for the win. If in case you don't get the win, hopefully you can fall back on a draw, but ideally we need a win because the plane is already on the runway. All we're waiting for now is to be given the green light. When they give the when they give you the signal. We're just waiting on the signal because we're on the tarmac at the moment, and we're getting ready to do this. We're getting ready to take off, but we can't take off without the signal. So over to the lads. Best of luck with your crunch time against Curacao tomorrow, and then we're gonna turn our attention to Trinidad and Tobago and see if they could do us a favor when it's time to turn their our attention to their match against, coincidentally, Curacao. So if you fancy watching some football tonight, I think in less than an hour you can go ahead and, as Nicardo said, Nicaragua taking on Haiti. You can go ahead and watch that one. Keep yourselves feeling comfortable. So if you haven't hit the like button, do go ahead and hit the like button. It does not cost you a penny. Massive shout out to my special guest, Nicardo. He's not really a stranger to us, is he? Definitely should know who Nicardo is. I've gone ahead and I've put the name of his channel in the comment section, right? So that is Nicardo Media House. Make sure you head over and subscribe to his channel. God bless each and every one of you for sitting with myself and Nicardo for almost an hour. Well, and over an hour now for myself, almost an hour for Nicardo. Thank you guys for blessing us with a moment of your time. Uptown 1G is going for a cheeky 2-0 tomorrow. Nothing less. I think you guys can go ahead and book your ticket to next summer's World Cup. Why? Because it's a forward a yard. That's why. And if we don't come up clutch, go ahead and send an invoice request to Nicardo. Send it over onto his YouTube channel. I'm sure he'll be more than delighted to pay whatever he needs to pay for you guys if what I'm saying doesn't come to fruition. Hits up Nicardo Media House and he will be more than kind enough to reimburse you guys. All right? I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Do expect a live watch along for tomorrow's game, crunch time against Curacao. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting on? Do go ahead and hit that like button. If you're making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because doing so is an underrated blessing. If you're on the graveyard shift, do take care of yourself. But remember, your health comes first, and you are just an asset who is just a number. So you know what that means, all right? Do make sure that you take care of yourself first. Health is the ultimate wealth. And you know how it goes. Until next time, take care. We built this out of love, out of pride, shining a light from the island to the diaspora, to the world. A golden beacon of sports, music, and everything in between. The very best of Jamaica. We little, but we Talawa.